Okay, so I'm Ellie Jones. I'm the artistic director currently at Southwark Playhouse, and Alex asked me to do a workshop today about ensemble theatre.
I think whatever project you do, it's great to know how to work as an ensemble, because if you get work, hopefully that's going to be such an important part of what you're doing. Yeah. And you're going to be working with all sorts of different people, so as much practice as you can get at that is great.
Yeah, it sort of takes the focus off you.
Sure.
You stop thinking about yourself so much and think about everyone else, and that's really nice feeling.
Sure. It's good taking a piece of script that obviously the lady that's taking the workshop, Ellie Jones, has already worked on herself. So you know, she knows the piece and she's helping us to, you know, bring an ensemble aspect to it where maybe we wouldn't have thought of before, taking a monologue and putting it into the world, as it were.
So we're specifically looking at stuff today that are ways to make everyone else on stage shine, to be less concerned about the individual performance and to be more concerned about the overall storytelling of a piece, to join together as one to make a whole rather than and a collective rather than an individual. And then very specifically at the moment we're looking at storytelling as an ensemble, so physical storytelling as an ensemble. So they're currently working with a single monologue, which could of course be delivered as a single monologue by one person on stage in a spotlight, but they are looking at creating the world that he describes around him as he describes it.
I think it was there was absolutely no pressure with it. You know, as a director you always have the pressure of the end show, whereas with today it's just, you know, it's a workshop and it's a time to explore and have fun and play, and because there's no pressure to produce anything, it gives you a new freedom. And I especially enjoyed working with a director who has the experience, and so the way she brought in her rules and the way she works was really useful for me as a young director, not having yet found the rules that work for me, to see how they work for another director.
Merrick has absolutely no hope of consolidation or relief.
Because exactly what you said, there is no pressure, and you come in, and I've never worked with Ellie before either, and so all of a sudden you've got a new director, new people, you're doing all this new stuff, and you can just fling yourself into it, because what are you going to lose? That is very liberating. Yeah. And working with a new director, again, yeah, you learn new things, you get a whole new perspective on stuff. Because this was ensemble theatre, I loved that, because again, even less reason to worry. You know, like, it's so much fun. We're learning to do things together and just bounce off each other, which I think all acting is about, but all of a sudden that's the emphasis. Yeah. So it's just running around being stupid together.
You can hit people, you can do things.
Can we do the thing, you know, when you see those things where you see the alternative scenario that they wish they'd done? So could I grab it and go, and you want to grab the thing and throw those fucking hands?
So long as you keep telling me.
Like you don't.
Yeah.
Does that work?
The diversity and the different opinions are just invaluable, because, you know, you're constantly looking to hone your own craft, and hearing other people's perspective, you know, obviously affects on yourself.
People are standing on the left like they don't give a fuck, and you feel like grabbing them by the collar and throwing them right down to the bottom, but you don't.
We did the sort of like moving around as an ensemble and stopping and starting together, and I trained for 3 years, and we did that near enough every other day, and I've never done it as well as I've done it with a group of near enough complete strangers in, 5 minutes, and it was just like everybody was so eager to, you know, accept it and embrace it and to move, you know, it was really nice. Everybody was, the work ethic was great. And
I don't think it's necessary.
On the tube, the lights hurt my eyes. There's this guy with a bag slung over his shoulder, so as no one can get past, so you nudge it, you know, just to let him know.
It's also interesting having a few directors in here as well. I mean, we'll see a bit more of that later on. We're working with the directors, but I think that's an interesting mix of perspectives, people who see things from the outside. I mean, as actors, you're always sort of focused on the internal thing, and I find it very difficult sometimes to get an objective idea of what's actually going on.
But the cars, they don't stop! So you just walk out anyway.
Sometimes you can get so you're on your own so much as an actor. It's fantastic to meet other people and learn from their experiences.
Sure. And they're all at different stages, so some people you can help, some people can help you, and it's just nice to meet people.
If you reach it to a halt, then you can look at it. Okay. But only when you get to the end of a thought. It's really difficult. It's really good practice.
Yeah.
And also, you guys have been brilliant about how precise that is and how difficult this work actually is. Physically trying to make these things happen all at the same time. It takes weeks.
She was kind of like very detailed, like she was like, oh, this doesn't work, you know, and like there was a lot of this group discussion and like, what do you think, and like everybody brought what they did in the past and like, sort of like a critique on it and add it to it, and then she would give her personal like opinion on what doesn't work. I think it's very specific instructions or very specific feedback, and I think that's what helps the exercise, you know, so not just like generic like exercise and do it, but her feedback and like us working as a group, I think that's very like helpful.
I think I'm literally stuck.
Well, and you would do that on the tube, would you?
I wouldn't know.
No.
But Charlie, he doesn't have that kind of.
No, he wouldn't. I don't have any final pearls of wisdom. You know, you've probably had a lot of my rules already. They're just mine, and as we spoke about earlier this morning, ensemble is a whole range of different things to different people, and I wouldn't say for a second that I have the final great decision about what that is. All you've really done today is a style of working that I quite like, and that I think is fun to storytell with, and that, you know, lots of games and things that have been stolen from lots of other people along the way. I would suggest to the directors that that's the best way forward, is to steal everyone else's ideas that work for you and that you might enjoy using. And I would suggest to the actors that's also a similar choice to do those things. Thanks, it's been great. It's been fun, and I'm going to go now.